Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Maryland. It's Mappy Davis on the Savage broadcast. Just jumped over from the High Rocks, welcoming in from Wisconsin, Bracken Cracker. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Matt. You've already got me fired up this morning. I've been watching your mug for the last hour. Crazy race.
I know, and we don't want to spend too much time on it, but it is pretty earth-shattering news in our world. So just quickly, for those that didn't see, Hunter did not win. He did not come in second. He did not come in third.
Unbelievable. And are you seeing this, Matt? This is something I have hoped for years. The start of a race with a carry.
What? What is going on here, Lee? This is exciting.
How awesome is that? You're going to have to take it out, drop it off, and then the next wave will be able to grab theirs. This right here is an instant game changer for a race.
I love it. I love it. I don't know why. We need to turn this phone, though. Whoever's on Lee's phone, can you turn sideways, please?
Now, the one downside of this is I always pictured this with a pancake sandbag. Having the log makes it like jousting for the first quarter mile of the race.
Right.
So you're gonna have to mind your P's and Q's to start this race off.
Right. Hang on a second. Oh boy. 8:05. Sorry. It's not letting me go live on
There you are.
It's not on Facebook though, and it's doing a weird thing. Facebook broadcast must be at least 15 minutes from now. So that's 8:20. Save changes. Try creating a new broadcast or just remove this destination. Re-add it. Okay. Re-add it. Okay. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Now we're on both channels.
Two things, Matt B. Davis. First
Yes,
is that this carry starting out changes everything.
Well, it's not that heavy. Can we be honest? It's not that heavy.
No, but it's compromised running from the start. Right away, you're going to fatigue your hips, fatigue your core, and it's going to allow the bigger, stronger athletes to be up at the front longer than if it were just a running start.
Okay.
It kind of delays the start of the running. And the second thing is that we talked about Sean Roberts had to pass the wrestler test, which was mountains in our sport. Well, today we have Ryan Brizzolara, who looked like an absolute animal in his Savage race last time, but there weren't any stud runners around him. Well, today he's got a stud runner with Sean Roberts next to him. So Ryan gets to pass the runner test today, and I'm excited for both of these things.
Well, we haven't seen Sean at Savage since
he beat Ryan Woods.
Carolina.
Yeah. And he looks so good there.
Yeah, and then he did a couple of Spartans, didn't do as well as we would liked. This is a kind of a mini comeback race for him. A loser goes home match, maybe for Sean. Maybe we never see him again if it doesn't go well today. I don't know. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah. So flashing back to Savage PA, Ryan Brizzolara looked like a man among boys. It's always hard to tell during a race when some of the top end athletes aren't there, how well the leader actually is doing, because you never know, like, is it all relative? But he had the look of someone who was attacking and moving fast through everything. And today we get to find out exactly how good he is.
There they go. That guy looks like Bracken that just came by.
I missed him. He must have been exceedingly handsome.
Definitely exceedingly handsome.
Well, a little late to the start line.
You know, I've been listening to the Running Public. I don't know if you guys are aware, the Running Public comes out twice a week. I feel like I'm really getting to know Bracken.
What did you learn about me this week, Matt?
I think listening to these broadcasts, and don't worry, we'll talk a lot about Savage. I feel like you and I have known each other all these years, but I feel like it's been a wasted opportunity that I wasn't closer to you all these years. You've been as entrenched as anybody in the sport since day one. So you and I should have been talking sooner, I feel like.
We should have. Now already we have Brizolara out to a significant lead. This is the way he looked in Pennsylvania as well. He got out aggressively, but he stayed aggressive and on it the entire race. Sean is obviously a bit slighter of frame. He will not be able to match his heavy carry, but what happens when they drop it?
Did Brizolara end up coming through, or is he one of the guys that struggled on the?
He won going away.
Okay.
He's part of that Noob Sanity team.
Got it.
He's Jarrett Newby's buddy and trains there, and he's not. I mean, if there was ever someone who's not going to fail an obstacle, he's up there in the Aaron Newell capacity of grip. At least as far as OCR goes. I don't know about his
I love
climbing.
this. I love this starting with a carry. Why did it take us 9 years to do this? This is
I don't know.
Great. This is fantastic.
It's also a really long carry.
I'm noticing that.
See how stable he looks under the load. Now, obviously, it's not a super heavy log, but still the fact that he has no upper body sway, his hips don't sag side to side at all. He has spent time bulletproofing his body, and he's clearly spent time running underneath a load. So again, he's checking a lot of the boxes.
Yeah, this is a longish carry.
Very much so. And Sean is going to have to make a decision of how long do I let this go? Do I just write this off as this is a preamble to the race, or is the race already leaving me?
Well, definitely something I want to talk to you about, Bracken. Something that came up out of the recent Spartan race. This thing you and I've heard you talk about a lot, which is this idea of losing contact.
Yes.
Versus running your own race and letting the race come to you. Because we've just seen on the Spartan side, a lot of guys just, I don't want to use the word completely blow up, but certainly go from first to fourth.
Yeah.
Or second to sixth.
In a race, let's say like a marathon or triathlon or a high rocks like we witnessed this morning, where it's very black and white what you're doing. You stay in your rhythm the whole time. Your metrics are your metrics. You run the pace and the work rate that you can stay with. Contact matters a little less because you're going to run your times no matter what. The more variables come into a sport, like off-road running, uphills, downhills, obstacles, the more matching someone's technique and their route, the line they take through the terrain matters. Whereas you can be working just as hard as someone else and be giving up a ton of time if you can't see their technique and how they're doing it. So in our sport of this OCR style of racing, contact matters a little bit more than other races. But at the same time, like we saw in West Virginia, if the race is long enough and you don't stay within your own rhythm and your own ability, you do run the risk of blowing up and then losing minutes and minutes and minutes.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. And I'm glad we're here to talk about it, along with covering this beautiful Savage race, because Logan and Mark Batres sure looked great for 3 or 4 miles, right?
Yeah, and Logan finished strong as well. And he held on a little better. But
off the podium.
Off the podium, yeah. There's that concept of having moves to make. And you saw that Ryan Atkins and Ryan Woods made moves in the second half of the race. They were able to keep their foot down, whereas other people, the only move they had left was hang on.
Right.
When your choices have been removed from you, you're optionless in a race. And you never want to get to that point too early. So that's that striking that balance between I need to stay in range and in contact, but I also need to stay within myself. And this is a strange style of race because starting with a carry, instantly the field's going to get spread out. And then people have to drop the carry and make a very aggressive acceleration to get back into the race. Or maybe Sean just has so much confidence in himself that he will just continue to run his own race and say, my legs will get me back into it.
Well, I wish we knew more about him. He's a bit of an enigma. He's the 2021 Yatsko, if you will.
Yeah, and he seems to have more of a, what would you call it, an emotional streak to him?
Here we go. Hang on.
We don't know what we're going to get with him.
We really don't. I think we might be down a phone here, Lee. There's usually another phone popped up by now. but we will show you what we can as Lee is bringing us around. Or maybe he's not.
So we have Zoich in this race. We have Stengel. We have Newby. We have Brizolara.
Well,
we have Roberts.
Zoich, I was saying at the top, Zoich and Sean weren't on the roster as of a couple of days ago, and then they got on it.
Mm-hmm. So we suddenly have 4 or 5 guys who have all shown they can do it, and they get to all battle against each other today, which always makes for a compelling race.
Correct.
We're getting a good course recon right now.
I've not been at this course. Have you?
No, this is the course that has a bit more to it. We've seen a PA has a bit of this. Ohio has a bit more to it in terms of it's not like that flat, smooth running the whole time. This is the course where I believe Ryan Atkins came out and beat Yuri Force in his first attempt, where the hills and the terrain played into it a bit much.
This makes me want to run an OCR. I got to be honest.
Yeah, it's beautiful terrain. It's a good mix
look at
of
that.
Everything.
Just that woods, and we're getting that fall weather, Bracken. We're getting that hoodie weather, that morning. Oh, it's so awesome.
When you think OCR, you think frost on the ground in the morning, cold, not wanting to take your warm-ups off until the last minute, and then just perfect race conditions.
Here we go. So,
is he still carrying that log?
You want to tell him to drop the log? What is going on with the log, Lee? Talk to us.
So they are carrying the log to the log carry, and then they're going to do the log carry. They still have quite a ways to go with this log.
So what are you making them carry it for, a mile?
Well, they've already been a mile, and now they got about another 0.6.
What in the world? We're starting out with a 2K log carry?
Yep.
So first, second, third are all Noob Sanity. Okay. What do we know about Sean Roberts? Stud runner, good grip strength, good up and downhill, and walked off course when he encountered some unasked for adversity. Now, I'm not going to say that that's going to happen here, but we really don't know how he's going to respond to something as ridiculous as a 2K log carry through obstacles to start a race.
Well, that's why I said we might be looking. That's why I said we might be looking at a win or go home match, wrestling style for him.
And he doesn't strike me as a quitter. He strikes me as someone who has his own beat that he hears, and he abides by the rules of that beat. So what happens here? Like, how does this strike him? Does this fuel him, or does this just piss him off?
Love it.
I don't care how light this log is. 1.5 miles is a long time to just not use one of your arms and to keep your run out of its normal rhythm.
And just be annoying. You know what I mean? It's just kind of annoying.
Yeah, usually in a carry this light. And I say light. I say light because there are heavier carries in our sport.
So Caleb is saying it's pronounced Zooch. Now, how are we getting it wrong all these years and he's never corrected us?
Zooch. I like it. But
Caleb, I'm saying Caleb. I'm not going with that until he confirms it. But go ahead, Bracken.
In a carry this light, it's usually set it and forget it. You throw it up on one shoulder and you just run the entire time because you don't have to reset it. But once you have to reset a carry, you almost never find a comfortable spot ever again. Like your first position's your best. But for a 1.5 mile carry, you can't keep one position the whole time.
Caleb, if you can hear me, you're just kind of frozen here. I don't know where you are.
So there's Sean coming through in at least 6th place.
Yeah.
We have some stop motion animation happening.
It's not the best.
Matt, as someone who's cherry picked races throughout my career, who takes a look at start lists and Facebook groups and realizes, hey, there's not a lot of people showing up to this, or a lot of big names showing up to this cash race this weekend. Can you imagine the disappointment or the shock of being like, hey, this race looks a little watered down. I think I'm going to go poach this. And you show up and you've got to carry a log for 1.5 miles before you get to run.
Well, you know, Bracken, there's actually a Seattle Spartan today. You could have poached that one. You could have cherry picked that one. I like literally did not know it was happening until somebody said, "Hey, do you know anybody who's going to that?" And I'm like, "It's this weekend." I'm like, everybody's either at Savage or Killington or Germany. I
Yeah,
don't know anybody in Seattle.
this is one of those weekends where the podiums are open. But I wouldn't be anywhere else in the world right now, Matt.
Oh, Bracken, you're the best. You're the best. So,
Little things like this are annoying and break your rhythm.
but fun. Like if you're looking for
Very
a fun
much so.
time.
But you talk about an atypical start to a race.
I
These
can't
are
believe they
usually
make-
the kind of things you encounter halfway through.
Yeah,
I'm all for this.
well, I don't know that I think a mile's good. I mean, I don't know that we got to go more than a mile, but okay.
It kind of stays with what Savage has been doing this year, which is you think you have it figured out, and then they introduce the next deviation from the norm. I like it. One of the complaints about our sport is that it's getting too easy. And I would say that that's not true. I would say that everyone's figured out how to train for it. And one of the ways to keep things from being too predictable is to give you something that you absolutely no way have prepared for prior to this.
Getting that log wet adds weight. Not sure how much,
the
but okay.
pros here are telling me that this water is actually very cold.
Because of course.
Well, it's early, right? And it is almost fall. Caleb, we still don't have Caleb's camera up. I'm not sure what's going on. He started to, it went away.
I'd love to get that thing up because there's a battle going on at the front and I want to watch it.
We also want to get a peek at the women too, right?
Yeah, they've got to be going off by now. Matt, one time we did a carry like this. It was less intentional. It was at a race, a now defunct race organization, and we raced in Temecula, California. And it was a who's who of the OCR world showed up.
Was it Atlas?
It was. I try to avoid saying other race names on these broadcasts, but if you're going to go ahead.
We're in the sport. What are you going to do? We're in the sport.
Well, yes. So maybe 6-7 mile race, and probably 4 miles in, we hit a sandbag carry, but it was really just a bag of rocks. And we carried for about a quarter mile. And then we got to the base of this hill, a nasty climb on the backside of the Temecula course, if you've ever been out there for other races. And we went up and up and up and got to the top and went down the backside and then took a left. And everyone missed the turnaround point. So it wasn't intentional like this, but we ended up carrying it for over a mile. And no one was the same afterwards. So the one time I've had experience with something like this, it was a complete game changer for the course of the race. Max King that day was about a half mile ahead of everyone.
Because he did turn around?
No, because he had just been out running everybody. Cody, Hobie, Hunter, everybody. Yatsko, and Hunter won the race because of the 1 mile sandbag carry.
Well, I got to say, that has happened. I've been to at least 2 races that I can think of where that's happened, where the leaders, there was a turnaround mess up, there was a volunteer misplaced, and the men and or women carried something longer than they needed to. So it's happened.
Yeah.
So
and some people don't come back from it.
Caleb just said Chrissy went by with a log. I did not see her. Did you?
No, I did not.
So she did. She was in first place, followed by Green Ray.
Followed by who?
Klingsberg.
Jareen Klingsberg.
Jareen?
All right, so
She
where
got
is
a third
Caleb
place
right
female
now?
coming up here.
Caleb is behind you, I think. I think he should get ahead of you, perhaps. This does make me want to race, though. It really does. Makes me want to get out there.
This is, in my opinion, the ideal style of just standard OCR course, where it has everything. Yes, there are open grass and dirt road running. There is off-road work. There are some hills. There's terrain. You get a piece of everything. Here comes a female by the looks of it.
That is
Is that Seeger?
no, that's either Aaliyah or
This is Aaliyah.
Here we are. This makes it a guessing
Strong.
game today.
well, I guessed correctly.
I guess it's all about where your screen freezes.
Exactly.
So we're gonna hang here for another 2 or 3 minutes, and then the pro males will actually be showing up right behind me. Oh, here they are now. So our first 2 males are the same positions that they've been at for the last mile or so.
Who is that up with Jarrett? I mean, with Ryan. Did you get eyes on him?
I'll go
You
catch
asking
up
me?
with them in just a second here.
Hey, Lee,
Yes, sir.
are you in Maryland?
I sure am.
Okay, I think I've been calling it Virginia.
You sure have. We've been trying to fix that.
Well, thanks for correcting me. Sorry. I bet they hate that. I bet they hate that.
Pardon me. Excuse me.
Okay, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna leave for a moment, Bracken, while I go in and fix this. Okay,
Yeah, you do what you got to do.
I gotta fix this thing, man. How do I go into this? Whoop, that's not it. Okay, I'm gonna leave both of these running while I go check this out.
This top left feed is very clear. Hopefully we can keep some eyes on this one. This course has a lot of similarities to that Pennsylvania race in terms of the field running, the farm and forest setup, but a lot more vert on this course. Not a lot in terms of a mountain race, but compared to that Pennsylvania course.
Oh, you guys are quick. Same 2 in the lead.
Whoever's
They're
on
maybe in
those
third
leaders,
still.
if
Yes,
you
sir.
can get eyes on them and call out who they are, because we can't even get a screenshot of who they are.
We got
All right.
Thought
Good
we had
copy. We'll go catch him now.
second. Not far behind.
Can you repeat that?
We have Christy first, and Doreen is in behind. Yeah.
All right, which one is in the lead here? This Lee's camera here. This one is this the lead?
As far as I can tell, this is the one waiting on people to come through, but I can't be sure on that.
Well, we're in Maryland, by the way, not Virginia. Good morning from Maryland, everybody.
Did you say Virginia, Pryor?
We're catching up with the male leaders now. Jarrett's in third. We're going to catch 1 and 2 now.
If Jared's in third, let's just play the speculation game since that's the hand we've been dealt. That would mean Brizolara is up front with, I would say, either Zuch or Stengel, which means that Roberts is in minimum fourth playing the catch-up game. And it's always exciting to watch the strongest runner in the field have to make up ground, because then you get to see them really, really peg it and put it down on the run.
Right, which he can do.
Which he can do. But we really haven't seen him trashed. Like in a bad spot, having to run with a really tired body. I'm sure he's been there, but we haven't seen it on camera yet. And that always interests me.
Did I mention how this beautiful terrain makes me want to run in the woods?
Oh my goodness. So
Look
we have
at that.
Brizolara in second, a position I haven't seen him in yet this year.
So who's that up front, Lee?
They both look great though. Ryan
is like-
Stride's just a thing of beauty.
Yeah, this is me in my dreams. This is how I run in my dreams.
Yeah, you wouldn't say he's like the prototypical runner stride that you might see out of an East African, but he's so strong, so compact. He's a 4-foot runner. His shoulders don't have a lot of sway to it. He's a good looking runner. And I don't know if that adds seconds to your mile, but it makes for a very visually appealing race.
All right, we're going to get a good look at first here. Lee is right next to them. At obstacle 13, or are they running by obstacle 13?
Looks like they're heading to a crawl in a water pit.
Yeah, he's going to turn the camera around here, it looks like. All right, Lee, let us know who that is. You're muted right now, buddy. Oh, and it's going to freeze up on us. Okay, who do we got, Lee?
This course makes you earn every second of it. This isn't one of those roll under
Hey, man,
it and
what's your
keep
name?
rhythm.
Give me your name. No? All right.
He's like, fuck. I saw his number for a second.
260.
What is it?
260.
Okay. One moment, please. 260.
That's not Matt Mullins, though. It might have been a mix-up on the list. Let's go ahead.
All right, so he said Matt Mullins, but that's not Matt Mullins.
Uh-oh. Matt Mullins is trying to get his Boston qualifier by handing
Exactly,
his
his
bib off.
BQ. Trying to get his BQ. Little bib muling going on.
Bib muling. First time in this sport, we've got some bib muling. So we're going to start to approach some obstacles here, which means we get to watch not Mullins hold off Brizolara, because Brizolara was so fast and smooth.
Not Mullins.
Not Mullins. Brizolara lost no time to anyone on any of the obstacles. I had an athlete I was working with. Her husband was on course for the Pennsylvania race, and he took video of the top people coming through. And Brizolara was the only one who was as fast or faster than Aaron Newell's second attempt through the Savage rig with the Lachey. So he's got his obstacle game down, and we'll find out what Not Mullins can do to hold him off.
Aaron Newell making a return to obstacle racing in Canada this weekend.
Yes, he is.
Looking forward to see how that goes.
You know, he had the most confusing race in West Virginia that I've ever seen.
In what way?
I almost felt like he was out there to encourage the Botchresses of the world to blow up early so that his buddies could come in late and steal the show. Because he went out so hard, full well knowing he was going to blow up, and then finish like an hour behind. I felt like it was a little bit of rope-a-dope going on.
But I don't think he's that calculated, is he? Come on.
I think I would never put a scheme past Aaron Newell.
Wow.
And I mean that
Hot take.
in the most endearing / demeaning way.
Well, I mean, if that's your race strategy, it's your call, right? You want to show up and just make it easy for your friends. That's your call. And you should not go out with Aaron if you know that's coming. All right, so here we are. See if you can nicely ask him his name again. Caleb is trying to get connected so badly, but he can't.
Well, and Matt, that's something that people do. Teammates and friends race together with strategy. It's something Macaulay and I have done in the past. There's no shame in that. because like you said, it's on everyone else to realize, and I'm not saying that that is what Aaron did, but it kind of looked like it.
2 what?
280.
All right, 280 is dun dun dun. Dun. Well, wouldn't it be awesome if these were sorted by number? No, because Matt sorted them by last name.
Which is nice. I prefer last name.
As do I, but
until this one moment.
I am now using my powers of advanced.
Ryan lost a little time there, which tells me that's an experienced Savage racer up there because he just moved the wheel faster. And that's one of those things that it is not a judge of fitness. It's a judge of how many times have you tried this obstacle. This is entirely skill-based.
Mr. Matt Davis?
Yeah?
I have a Jordan McDougal at 280.
Oh, good. Jordan's back.
We know that guy.
I didn't recognize him without his tall calf sleeves. Jordan is the best runner here. And I say that with all due respect to Shauna Roberts. Jordan has run for Team USA mountain running.
What about James Worthy, number 293? Used to play for the Lakers?
Yeah.
Dustin Radney, Control F. Thanks, buddy. Teaching me how to search. I was just going to went and sort by number, so then the next number I'd be able to tell. But thank you. So, current in the lead is Jordan McDougal. Second place is Brazilara. Right? And who's in third?
Did you say Brazzers?
No.
Okay.
I don't even know what that is. What's third?
Third is Jarrett Newby, as far as I can tell.
And then on the women, the last we saw, which was half a mile ago, we had Chrissy, somebody else, and then Aaliyah.
Jordan McDougal ran Division I track and cross country at Liberty University. So he's one of 2 D1 runners in this field, and he's the one with the lead right now, which is not ever what you want to see. The best runner already in front. It means all you can do is hope that they don't obstacle as well as you can, because the running has already sailed.
The Liberty Flames, it says, looking at their website. Is that true?
Like the obvious play would have been to be the Bells.
But their logo is an eagle.
I'm not sure. I ran at Liberty University indoor, though.
You did?
Yeah. Yeah, as a freshman, I was down in the Atlantic Sun Conference, which is down their way. Yeah, he's one of 2 McDougal brothers who ran there. His brother was a cross-country national champion.
That's him right there.
Yeah, but 2 studs right there. So his brother was a national champion cross-country, which is like winning the lottery. It's so rare. And then Jordan has become the ultra and mountain runner of the family. And he keeps coming back to OCR.
Is it true that you were a camel?
Yep, fighting camel.
And we lost the signal.
Jordan goes back a long way in this sport. He was at the inaugural OCR World Championship in Ohio.
OCWC.
Yeah, he showed up in his USA team singlet, led the race, and ended up dropping out at the first platinum rig. And we all kind of assumed he'll be one of those high-end runners who comes over, has a rude awakening, and never comes back, because why would you? And he keeps coming back. And he probably does more Savages than any other OCR race.
Sounds like one of us should have him on a podcast.
Probably.
Maybe both of us.
Yeah, we'll get 2 different interviews out of him.
We will get 2 very different interviews.
But yeah, a strong running family, and he keeps coming back. And I've always respected that about high-end runners who are very good at what they do, and they come over here and get smacked around a little bit and keep coming back. And he's done it for years now.
Speaking of interviews and collegiate athletes, I saw you had one Stephanie Garcia, aka Steph Steeples, on your program.
We did this week. Just released it yesterday.
And what did we learn about this D1 athlete?
Well, more than just a D1 athlete, right? She ran professionally. She was 9th in the world in the steeplechase at Beijing. And she is an animal, and she is actually all in on OCR, Matt.
I love it.
She's
I
not
know.
playing.
I love it.
She self-admittedly has a ton of work to do, but she's
Yeah.
committed to putting in the work. Look at this. Here's where we're going to see some things start to happen. A lâcher early on. I like it.
So this is before the end, like it usually is. Whee!
A double lâcher? Is that what we're seeing?
Lee, is that 2?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What mile are we at? 4? Are we at mile 4?
Wow. Buy in, buy out lâcher on that rig. And Brizzolara is right back on him. He's so strong and athletic.
Is this mile 4, Lee?
Yeah.
Well, I will say we
Yeah,
every
sorry
time
about that.
we. It's okay. I'll say we every time people go by. Yeah, she's back to Stephanie really quickly. She's failed 6 or 7 obstacles every time, and she's like, I don't care. I'm just going to keep coming at it. She's been winning her age group anyway, and she's just going to keep at it.
Yeah, and she kind of burnt out on running. And she said she's rediscovered her love for just going out and running.
Sweet. All right, who do we got here?
I would say that that's Newbie and
That's Jared Newby.
Stengel. But I have a hard time telling right here with the man bun.
And still no Sean Roberts sighting since the start. We lost you, Lee. It says no cheese board, but I think that cheese board's coming, my friends.
Oh,
This is not the final rig. Correct, Lee?
this is the only rig.
So there's no cheese board later on?
Correct.
This is a day of I would have lost my house on all the bets that I would have made, man. I would have bet that Hunter does not miss the podium. I would have bet that there's absolutely a cheese board, and I would not have bet money on there being a 2,000-meter log carry to start the race.
What a day. What
a
historic
day
we're-
indeed.
We're having. I love it. I'm so glad to be here with you, Bracken.
It is a day, man. Look at, they're both still here.
Yes, our top 3 got through pretty quick.
This is battle for 3-4, right?
This is 4th and 5th.
Oh, 4. Oh, that
Top
one
3
looked
just breezed
painful.
through.
Who was third at the time? Was that Newbie?
Yes, sir.
So who is this other Noob Sanity here? Because that looks like a Noob Sanity singlet.
He's not wearing a shirt.
No, this one on the far left. He'll have his name down the back. Like 90% sure that's a Noob Sanity guy.
It is. His name on the back is Invictus.
Invictus.
That's probably his gym.
Huh. So we have our second bib mule. Matt Gill. There's Allie Newbie. If anyone would know, it'd be her.
No cheese board.
That's a cool still frame there.
I mean, I suppose I could look at a map. That would probably help. Pull that up. Now would be a good time to pull that up. Could my excuse be that I've been up since 6 a.m. doing Germany coverage?
Well, Matt, I really don't want to make this statement,
Oh, no.
but if we have not seen Sean Roberts here yet,
He might be gone.
he may be AWOL. Oh, and just like that,
Dun, 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 dun.
he arrives. He's not going to be a happy man at the end of this race, but he still has the opportunity to go right back into third place.
Yeah, and he's got the wingspan to make this happen. So unless he just fell off and we couldn't tell.
He did.
All right, Lee, can we get a sideways phone? There we go. super choppy, but see if he makes it on his first try at the second half of this thing. Looks like he did.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Good.
now he's got 2 miles to catch up. Can he do it? Bracken, your thoughts?
He cannot catch up unless they fail ahead, just simply because he's got to be 4 or 5 minutes behind at this point. That's 1,200 meters of running on a course like this, minimum 800. It's too much ground to make up. But he could take second. Jordan has in the past had obstacle trouble. He's also had races where he's been phenomenal on it. So we'll see. I'd say his ceiling is second place, but most likely I'd say he hangs on for third. Someone just breezed through and took over fourth.
All right. So here's our map. And that was the rig 17. So
can you make that full screen? Is that possible so we can
yes,
see a little more?
I sure can.
That top right corner, you should be able to go a little bigger too.
Hang on. Yeah, hang on. All right, so 17 is the rig. And then where's the next clue? Wheel World, Scorn Hole, Yank My Chain all coming up. So that could be interesting for the women, right?
Yes. Although, no, I don't think they'll have any issue with that. Yank My Chain seems to only be an issue when it's right after a nasty obstacle where they blow their grip out, or right before an obstacle that causes them to blow their grip out.
And do we know who this shirtless gentleman is? Ryan Woods with hair?
I don't know, but he lashed the wrong way. It's a bold strategy, Cotton.
The wrong way?
He just went off the backside.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant
No,
something else.
He felt it wasn't happening, so he just released but went backwards. This is one of those cases where if your hands are wet and you're not strong at this type of thing, it's almost impossible because you can't trust your swing. And if you start to tear your hands at all, if you start to run into actual skin problem, then the swinging becomes near impossible. You want to hit this early and get through. And he's not even trying swinging anymore.
I'm not sure what's happening.
It's either his hands are wet or his hands are tearing, but either way, he's trying to just get through it quick.
I guess we'll stay here till we see some women then, I guess, Lee, since Caleb's camera is not coming up at all.
I think at this point,
What
your
was
best
that, Matt?
bet is
I said, I guess we're just going to stay here till we see some lead women since Caleb's still not up on his camera.
That's our best bet.
And this gentleman, I'm going to go ahead and say, does not have a shot. I mean, he's got to do something very different, like wait a half an hour. I don't know. He's not even close.
got to take some time and then move down until he finds that one part of the bar where it's accessible to his hands. But the Lachey takes a commitment. And right now you can tell either because of his grip or the slickness of the bar, he can't commit to a really good, hard, aggressive swing and then release. Have you ever ridden downhill on a mountain bike, Matt?
Yes, it's scary.
Yeah, and if you can't send it, you almost can't even make it through it, where you're just riding the brakes the whole time, and it takes momentum to get through it. But if you don't have the skill to give yourself that momentum, you can't get through it. And that's how that type of release move is, that the confident people are rewarded because their momentum happens, and the people who don't have the skill or the confidence, they can't get through it because they can't even access that yet.
I did the Muddy Buddy, which is an, beginner level race, quote unquote.
Okay.
But I definitely remember the first time I hit a hill and it said warning, this is a big hill.
Mm-hmm.
And then, are you trying to control this while I'm trying to control this?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
No, I don't even think I have admin capacity here.
Okay. All right. Anyway, so yeah, I started going down this hill and realized okay, I'm fucked. Like I can't hit the brakes, but I can't go full speed.
Yeah.
And it was, the grade. I don't know what the grade was, but it was intense.
Yeah. And the only way to get through it is to send it. And the only
Right.
way to send it is to have the ability to send it. Oh, we've got one Lachey at the end. Here it is. This is his best chance he's going to have.
Okay, big swing.
You can see he just doesn't have the swing technique. And maybe his grip's gone and he can't, but you've got to have some backswing to it.
He had one good swing. Did that guy get it? It looks like he did not.
It's very tough to Lachey without a good backswing. And it's really hard to extend back and swing through if your hands are blown out or if you don't have the skill to do it.
Is that Chrissy?
So what do you imagine is happening up front in the race right now, Matt? Up front, yeah.
Looks like we're approaching Colossus. Not Colossus, but Colossus. Damn it.
Are you able to hear me now?
Yeah, sorry about that.
That is all right. We saw, looked like Gil made it through. And if it wasn't him, it was another one of his teammates, but they were pumped. Did you see that?
Ali said he made it. Ali said he made it.
Hit the bell, big fist pump, took off running.
Now, Caleb, you were at the same obstacle. We'd like you to be at a different obstacle. You were at the same obstacle as Lee.
Yeah, the girls are getting ready to come up here. Doreen
Okay.
just made a pass on.
All right, maybe Lee can go ahead and go to the next thing then.
My walls.
All right, maybe Lee can go ahead and go to the next obstacle then. If Caleb's going to stay here for women. Well, Caleb, now you've got Lloyd next to you, so maybe you should go somewhere else.
Whew. We have an embarrassment of rig coverage at this point.
Oh, nice, got it! You get it!
All right, Caleb, why don't you go to the next one? I got Lloyd here for the females.
Do we have one female through this?
No females yet. Chris is coming up right now. Doreen's getting ready to go again.
This
All
is
right.
going to be a challenge today.
Lloyd, if you can turn your camera sideways, buddy. Fantastic. Caleb, if you can go somewhere else since I got Lloyd here now.
Good deal. Head of the next.
Oh,
Thank you.
one down. Now, in theory, if you can do the first one, you can do the second one. But that dead stop, need
All
to
right,
get
here
back up.
Need that backswing. Not seeing a lot of backswing. Got to get that backswing.
Hmm.
Is that Chrissy?
That is Chrissy.
So is she the first
Yeah,
one, or
she's
did somebody
coming up
sneak
on
ahead of her, Lloyd?
No females are through yet.
Okay.
These bars must be dewy because people keep wiping their hands coming up here. That or they're coming in wet.
Close up there. They're wet.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy. Oh
and
boy.
That's a release move on wet bars that's a tough ask.
Well, we should just start these races later, Bracken, and make it easier for everybody.
Everyone should be allowed one chamois wipe of the bar.
Or just pack a towel. How heavy can it be?
I don't know what the rules are. Spartan has now outlawed bringing towels on course. I don't know what the Savage's rules
But have
are.
they though? I've not heard that rule is clear.
I guess I don't know.
Oh wait, here comes Aaliyah. Is that Aaliyah? Or is that still Chrissy?
Here's what you do, Matt.
That's Jareen. Jareen Klinkenberg.
You sew a chamois to your race singlet, and now you're set.
Because then it's part of your uniform.
Part of your uniform. You just come up, take your shirt, wipe your bar path. Boom.
But people don't seem to be having a problem with that first one.
They're fresh. And then this rope transition is tricky because if you are low on the rope, you have no momentum whatsoever coming into the second bar.
All right, so Jareena's looking strong here still, right? So if she can make this, like on this attempt, she'll be okay. But
yeah, you have to assume this is your best chance, and you take the best swing you can because you don't know if you're going to be back here.
Boom.
You got it. Jareen got it. Jareen is now your new female leader. Wow, she made it. That was only her second or third attempt, Bracken.
She might be able to walk in at this point. This is how it goes, though, right? Sometimes you just got to see one go in. Now the floodgates open, and we're going to see a few women get through.
Let's hope so. Come on.
Don't go yet. Get that full swing. Ugh.
A little high on the release there.
Now she should wait, though. I think she should now just chill out.
It's just so hard to commit to the weight. You're in race mode, and we know you have to wait. But
Right.
It's so demoralizing to say, okay, I'm just going to let people go. Do you see that cast there? That was good. If you get a little more backswing.
Hey, Matt.
Yes, sir.
I've got our first and second place here.
Okay. First and second.
As in done? Huh.
So who do we got?
How'd it go, guys? Brutal.
Do you want to ask them who are we looking at?
Is that Jordan McDougal on the right? Who is that?
You got to tell us. You're right there.
It's Jordan
Lee,
and Ryan Brizolara.
who's first and
I'm
second?
not right there. I'm at.
Yes, that's correct.
Lee, who came in first?
That one's longer.
So Brizolar takes it after an insane battle the entire time.
Where did that final pass happen?
That was one of the most fun races. That was a fun race.
Where'd you guys do the final push?
I mean, he passed me right at Scornhole. Yeah. Kind of like started separating. And then coming in to yank my chain, right after that, I thought I was going to puke, and I was dry heaving, and I lost sight there, and then,
All right, guys. I got Chrissy making an attempt. Oh, you're right there. You are
Newbie in third.
Good job, man.
Is that Jarrett Newby in third?
Yes, sir. Ryan, Jordan, and Jared.
Do we have eyes on Sean yet?
Sean is coming over Colossus now. He'll be
Good.
another 2 or 3 minutes.
Sounds like he just never got rolling today. That carry dug him a
Really?
deficit, and he never got it going.
He's been training with us. We all have like 15 minutes of each other, but he's like he's a D1 guy.
He was making big moves.
Yeah, he's new to obstacle racing.
Well, what was his name again?
Matt Gill.
Yeah, man.
He's come a long way. He's gonna blow some doors off.
Nice. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
Did you say Matt Gill was a D1 guy?
Yes, sir.
Wow. They're starting to trickle in, Matt.
Love it. Love it.
Although D1 what?
Field hockey?
Could have been equestrian for all we know.
Probably.
Wow.
All right, let's see if we can
So,
look at some more women.
I talked to Sean when he was over at Sawtooth, and once he realized he was in fourth, he kind of let off the pedal a little bit. He's coming up over Cargo now.
On us, over to the left of the state toward the start line, we have ice cold Celsius,
Here he comes.
delicious and refreshing. Over here to the right of the stage, super coffee. If you love coffee, we've got several flavors and blends.
You got this, man. Finish up strong.
Hey, Lee.
Yes, sir.
Ryan finished in 47:14. Was this a short or an usually flat course? That seems fast for a Savage 6 mile race.
So in this case, we actually had less mud than usual. And there were a few flat sections. There was a logging area in the back that allowed for some of the trails to be more like a highway. So the short answer is yes, it was flatter.
So the last race was a couple minutes slower in PA. I'm just looking at the previous results. And in Chicago, it was, I guess they're all this fast. I guess in my mind, they last an hour, but I guess they've been shorter. Ken won Chicago in 44 minutes. So there you go. You with us, Bracken? Did I mute you?
Yeah, this one surprised me time-wise because of that massive carry to start us off.
Yeah. So this is Aaliyah, and she fell. So we've got 0 women through this rig.
No, we have one.
Oh, sorry. Jareen was first through this rig.
Matt, can we call it? Is it official to say that this has reached 21st century Battle Frog status?
In terms of the weights? The time through obstacle, you mean?
Yeah, and the completion rate amongst some people.
She made it.
Look at that.
Aaliyah coming in second. Thank you for that beautiful update.
This guy's just cruising right there.
So I've got Sean in 4th and Zooch in 5th. Is this correct? Did Sean come through here?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but why wouldn't we have seen him? Were you interviewing or we were interviewing the finish line?
No, we saw him make it through here. Remember, he froze on his backswing, and the next thing we saw him just running away. Third through. We've got ourselves a podium.
Was that Aaliyah? Did she make it?
She went through in second, I think.
Sorry, Aaliyah was second. Who was third? That's what I'm asking.
Oh, I didn't see
Hey,
that
third
one. But
and third and fourth guys just both went through, so it might come down to last couple obstacles for them.
Second through fourth is still open. There's not too big of a gap that it's insurmountable. Third and fourth are very close, but second's not that far ahead. Think we can get eyes on any of the finishing for the women?
Yeah, Lloyd, can you maybe head there? Or can Lee?
Sorry, what'd you say, Matt? Is there another camera towards closer to the finish? Third and fourth female just finished this at the same time.
Yeah, right now I got only you. I need Lee or somebody else to follow the women.
All right.
We're not getting much from this feed anyways. We might as well get everyone to all hands to try to catch a finish.
Right. I'm going to update and show you who we got so far and some times. So we go here. Hang on.
Matt, is Savage bringing anything to Stratton 2 weeks from now?
It's a great question. So what do you think we look at this leaderboard here? Your first 6 men through.
Well, that gap ended up bigger than I thought. Did Jordan get hung up on something, or did he say he was getting sick after scoring hole?
Yeah, he said it was dry heaving.
That'll do it.
So you think Sean will just kind of pick up the pieces and see what he needs to learn?
I hope so.
6 minute gap he lost there.
Yeah, I mean, that gap doesn't tell the story. He's too talented and has too much proclivity for this sport to get too bummed out by one race. Savage is the kind of race that there's nothing guaranteed. You can show up, be the fastest or best on paper, and just one thing gets thrown at you, and suddenly your results are totally thrown off. It's less of a known commodity here, which I think is what keeps people coming out, because everyone's got a shot.
What are we looking at here?
Hey, Matt, Caleb is going to go catch I think the battle for second, third, and fourth for the females. They're the closest.
Okay, we haven't had his decent phone signal from him all day though. I think it might have been better if you went.
All right.
Because we're good on the rig now anyway.
Yeah. All right. Let me get a ride over there. Where on the course are they going? Do you know where they're going? Girls? He said Caleb's phone's still not.
Let's just get to the finishing gauntlet.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, bring him up. So here he's trying to come up again. So while we're waiting, another big race happening in Vermont this weekend. Do you know anybody there? Any of your people there?
Yeah, a few people. Michelle Aiken, who does a lot of Savages, she's up there. In terms of pros, it's a weird. This is like the tweener weekend, where it's just close enough to OCR Worlds and North American Championship that a lot of the top people aren't willing to risk it.
Yeah, you don't want to. It's a little right.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm Ryan Kempson, myself, and Rhea all ran Killington 1 year, 2 weeks before Tahoe. And all three of us struggled in Tahoe with the descents. Our legs were still not recovered from all that descending in Killington. And so even though 2 weeks energy-wise seems like it'd be enough, a big mountain race is sometimes too much to risk. Whereas I would say if you're doing OCR Worlds, this race here today was the race to come tune up on. It's short enough you're not going to take a crazy beating, but you get to fine-tune some of your rig skills.
I concur.
Well,
Yeah,
Jordan
if you
looked
could,
good
if you
today.
Lloyd, if you could find those women, because yeah, Caleb's phone keeps coming in and out. It looks like it's going to be on, and then it doesn't. I don't know if you can hear
Yeah.
that.
I've got Lloyd's phone now. It's Caleb. The girls are going to be popping up. Aaliyah's in second, and Krista Duskin is in third place at the moment. And they'll be coming up to Battering Bird here soon.
All right. In all the minutes that we've been talking since I last showed you, the next man didn't pass for 6 more minutes.
Really?
6th place guy, Joseph Cotto, 55 minutes. 7th place guy, Patrick Aragon, 101.
Patrick Aragon, good work. He's a buddy of mine.
So the difference between 1st and 7th is 47 minutes. So that's that. What is that? 13-minute gap.
That is a healthy gap. This guy's making quick work of it.
Is that what's his name? The obstacle activist?
Oh, I can't tell.
Well, if you've made it here, the hardest part of your race is over, correct? You're not gonna I don't see you struggling on this. On what is this? Battering sheets, Battering Bird?
I don't know. It's hard to tell because how many attempts did you take on the rig? You know, there's a chance your hands are gone. And these little bungee cord holds here are difficult if your hands are blown out. It looks to be slightly downhill, though, doesn't it, Matt? Like there's a bit of a drop to this obstacle.
All right. So now Dave is now saying it's Zoik. So this whole time, James is never correcting us. I'm very upset. His friend even said, his friend promises me it's Zoich or Zooch. And then Dave, who looks like a relative, is saying Zoik, like the old German, Zoich. Like that's how you would say it. Like they were from Leipzig. Zoich.
I think we have to go straight to the horse's mouth.
Well, we assume this is a relative. Dave, are you related? There might be, it could just be another guy with that name. I'm very upset. Listen, if you're an obstacle racer and Bracken and I or Dave and I call you something and it's not your name, please correct us. I've interviewed you like at races, James. Come on, man. Let us know. Help me out. If you call me Mark, I'm going to correct you and say it's Matt.
What's my last name, Matt?
It's Crocker.
Look at that. We've come all this way.
But you let me say it wrong for about 5 years. You never corrected me.
I'm sure at some point I did.
So Dave's his dad. Am I now saying it correctly by saying it's Zoik or Zoich? Here's Zoich. There's Aaliyah. I can check that hair. Look at that.
Cruising right through there. She stayed nice and high whole way through that obstacle.
What do you call that running form though, with the elbows way up there?
Oof, I don't know if there's a name.
Mine kind of swing. I feel like.
She got a sticky, or a sticky lane over there.
Sticky widget.
Sticky widget. We saw the first couple people fly right down these.
All right, so she's wearing, looks like some fingerless gloves, or no, she's not. Look at it for a second, she was. So Caleb, who tried to correct me and was wrong, said I'm his best friend. Hang on one second. I gotta take. I'm getting a call from Canada. It might be Dave. Hang on.
You did that.
And I'm back.
Wow, that was. Did you get it?
Yeah, just barely nicked it, but she hit it.
All right, so let's move on. Those are the top 3 women. Let's move on. Caleb, I love you, buddy. I'm giving you a hard time.
Got some allergies hitting you today, Matt?
I've got some allergies hitting me this time of year. Bracken, change of season always gets me. Beginning of spring, beginning of fall, I always get this way.
Yesterday, it hit me pretty good after my run.
Do your children make fun of you? Like my children make fun of me when I'm in a sneezing fit?
I don't get sneezing fits.
Do your children make fun of you, though?
I don't allow that. I have a strict no making fun of me rule in our house.
Now, I know you're not quite as open with me, quite as open as I am when we talk about our family, but how old are your kids now?
We have 9, 6, and 4.
Love it.
So starting to age a little bit. Because
Right.
the first time we would have seen each other, Braden would have been 3 months old. And now here we are, he's 9. Coming up on a decade of knowing each other, Matt.
Crazy. What year did you run Savage Georgia where you actually stayed at my house? What year was that?
That would have probably been 13.
No, get out of here.
14?
13 is like 100 years ago. I mean, come on, dude.
Couldn't have been later than 14, right? I don't know. These years run together.
I know they do, but I feel like you might have been
13 through 15, somewhere in there.
But I feel like that could have been one of those memories that you were like, Matt, I know for a fact it was 14 because and then XYZ.
Oh, no, I don't know for a fact.
Was that the race where you were in the lead and then lost in the giant tubes, or was that a different one?
The race prior to that, I got stuck in my first teeter tuber and did not have a technique to get through it. But no, this was Yuri just ran me out of the woods in Georgia.
For a second, I thought maybe Atkins showed up to that one because Lindsay and Ryan showed up to one in Georgia, didn't they?
No, I've never raced them at a Savage.
Nicole came to Georgia previously.
It's kind of a rite of passage. You have to do a Florida and a Georgia to get the full Savage experience.
I feel like you do.
I left that first Savage I did where I was leading, got stuck in that teeter tuber, took second because of that, and thought, all right, I've got this figured out. Savage is, I can check that off. I'll be fine. And then I never won a Savage after that point. You never fully figure Savage out unless you're Yuri Force.
Well, I don't know. He hasn't been around this year since all these crazy rigs.
That's true. That's very true.
Bracken, did you win like men's fitness fittest athlete? I remember you talked about that in your podcast. Was that you or was that your brother?
We both won. I won the Midwest. He won the East Coast. Ultimate athlete, men's fitness. A little not so humble bragging in there.
And what was that a test of? What were the fitness tests that day?
It was 3 obstacle races, a speed course, an agility course, and a strength course. So it was a quarter mile,
I like
mile,
this.
and a mile.
I like this.
And you had a time window to complete all 3. So there were 3 waves of the day. There was like an 8 a.m., a noon, and a 2 or something like that. And you had an hour or an hour and a half to do all 3 in whatever order you wanted.
Caleb, why are you moving away from these guys? Why aren't we watching them finish the obstacle?
I was seeing if I could get a view of the women coming up.
Well, Caleb, we want to see the action, my friend. Stay right here. Even if the women are coming up, we want to see them do the obstacle. We don't want you to run and. Are your feet allowed to touch the water there? Yeah, your feet can touch, right? As long as you don't fall.
I suppose it's probably harder with your feet touching.
Right. This is the Field of Dreams. This is the Savage Race Field of Dreams.
Did you catch the Field of Dreams game this year?
I watched a couple of the highlights.
I didn't watch the game, but watching them walk out of the corn and that recreation was pretty cool.
Yeah, I know you're a bit younger than me. I did see that movie in the theater.
I didn't see it in theater. I saw it at home, and then we went to the Field of Dreams.
I've not been.
Yeah.
Let's talk about these two techniques, my friend.
Well, you've got one guy who's been consistently going hand over hand, which you can do if you've got the grip to do it. The other guy is going safe. They're both going to make it through, but one lost the lead doing so. What do you like about going backwards or sideways on that first half versus going straight on? Just safer. Unless you can skip rungs going forward, it's really not faster either. But it makes for a fast turnaround at the top. When you go backwards? When you go forward at the top, you can just get to whatever rung you know you can skip for and immediately swing through. Whereas if you're backwards, you have to choose your point, then turn around and transition. Which, if someone's done it a few times, that transition is pretty minimal. Well, former OCR champion Jung Young Pak was the first guy I ever saw do that. We were at, the TM version of this, and he's like, "Oh, go up backwards. You're going to save the different muscles." And I was like, "Oh, that seems smart." Yeah, I watched Ryan Atkins and John Albin do that at that old King's Domain course. That's how I learned it. Okay, here we go. Are these the top three women? Second, third, fourth. Okay, so we have got Aaliyah right there on your near side. Right behind her is Chrissy. Looks like she finally came through. And who is that? So they're all matching. One forward, one backward. Caleb, find out who's in the yellow after she comes off.
Michelle Castle is what I was told.
Michelle Castle. Look at this battle. 3 women battling for 2 spots on the podium. You know what's interesting to me, Matt, is how different people look on obstacles. Because Aaliyah coming through the first try on the rig, to me it looked like she was not good at overhanging obstacles. Like her grip was blown out. She wasn't able to swing well. And I thought, oh, that's the end of her day. And then when she made it, she looked so strong. And then through that, the last obstacle we saw with the sliding handle and then the twirly grips, and then through here, her grip looked and her rig skills looked phenomenal. And it showed she just had to quick relearn the technique on one. But she's impressed me with her grip skills. I'm very impressed that Chrissy finally made it through there and caught back up, though. Good job for Chrissy, not giving up. Yeah, this little trio of runners here is going to make for an awesome battle at the end. Yeah, we should go straight to the finish, huh? And they've all gone through some adversity earlier in this race, so it's not like one of them's fresh and the other 2 are playing catch up. They're all kind of in the same boat right now. I look forward to a lot of posts that include phrases like, "I was in first of my age group until we got to the rig." This little section here, this is just a killer at this stage of the race. I know, but I like it a lot. Oh, yeah, absolutely. You can't fake it. Now, what happened here? Chrissy's in the lead. This Castle, though, came off that in third significantly off Sawtooth and suddenly is back up here. So she's much faster than Aaliyah, or Aaliyah fell? Something happened, yeah. We'll see. If she immediately charges ahead, we'll know. But, yeah, something happened with Aaliyah here. Perhaps the earring slowed her down? I don't know. Maybe she got hung up on something. I don't think there was another obstacle in there. I meant the earring. Maybe it got caught on something. Well, see, I was joking and you were serious. No,
I don't think she actually caught an earring. But I
So-
did see a man once rip his nipple ring off going over a wall, Matt.
Can you not be disgusting? So 23's Clothesline, 24 Twin Peaks, 25 Ramp Ball, 26 Sawtooth, 27 Anchors Away, 28 Colossus, 29 Shriveled Richard. So they go to Shriveled Richard towards the end.
I like that. And Matt, that's not being disgusting. That's reminding people that everything that can catch on something in the sport of OCR will. You take care of that prehab before the race starts.
Well, I wore one of those rings, not Kalo, but the cheap kind, for a long time for that reason. And then I just got
Yep.
tired of taking it off all the time. So here we
Yeah.
are at Anchors Away. Anyway, I wear my wedding ring all the time, and people say it's bad, but I'm pretty careful going over obstacles.
I once caught mine in Indiana in a mud pit at the end of my finger and held onto it. And then in
What just happened?
Oh.
Hang on.
That's a bummer. Castle's made all the right moves to keep herself in play.
Michelle's made the podium a couple times this year, no?
Uh-oh.
Form doesn't look great there. Can we get both these zoomed at the same time?
That's
Caleb.
figuring it out on the fly there. She started rough and now she's rolling. Makes the pass. Long dismount.
So it looks like Chrissy decided to switch the lane she was on, but that didn't help either.
I think that's the retry lane, right?
I guess so, maybe.
Look at this battle here. And
Yep.
I am always concerned someone's going to get hung up on that dismount. Oh, she's taking the long route.
What's going on? What just happened? She doesn't seem to be. She needs more urgency.
I mean, it's tough when you're blown out, right?
Yeah, I mean, she's tired.
And that's where it gets magnified on those little pieces where you have to quick think or quick to react. When your body's just sludge at that point, it's hard to, oh, she didn't make that. I thought she made it. It's hard to make quick decisions.
Can we get to the finish? Please. So that was Anchors Away. We got Colossus, Shriveled Richard, and Big Ass Cargo next. So let's quickly get to the finish for the women.
Megan must be running with purpose because she keeps making up ground, but Aaliyah came off that obstacle with momentum. She went from fourth right up, or from fifth, passed right into fourth. And she can
Let's
smell
just go straight to the finish. Don't even sweat this obstacle because it's going to happen too quickly. Or we can hang out here. Either one's fine.
Looks like a 5-second gap.
Is that what you counted?
Yeah.
And there's the ever tricky swim out. Looks easy, but isn't.
Aaliyah's really staying smooth through her swim out. She was side stroking a little bit, which at this point in the race feels like almost an unnecessary thing to do.
We have got
she's
a
still
battle.
caught up.
Look at this. They come out of the water together.
Look at the difference in running right now, though.
But see how Aaliyah's form is just a little wonky? Like if you were her coach.
It's
So they're
they're
going
both
into
on
Shriveled
fumes at
Richard.
this point.
They're going into Shriveled Richard quickly, and she's out first. Look at that. But then look how quick.
Yeah, this
Do you see
is
that?
this is a battle. That's starting to stretch out here.
So she came out. She started to come out of the box first, but then Michelle just took off.
Michelle slid off forward, hit the ground running, and
Yeah, Michelle's just a stronger runner.
do we have anything strength related left? We got this cargo at the end is so
this is-
tiring.
This is it. Just big ass cargo. And then after they catch their breath, we can maybe do a little interview about their battle, but let's let them catch their breath here. It looks like Michelle's going to take second. I believe she has made the podium previously, yes? Earlier this year.
I'm getting flashbacks of Robert Killian's first year when he wore his yellow army top to the races.
I remember that.
Well, Aaliyah has a hard-earned 4th.
So let's bring up these times if we can. It takes a minute. Jareen is the only one showing at an hour 12. So we'll just give it a minute here. Let them catch their breath.
I like that you have Jarrett's last name as Noob Sanity.
Well, why not?
A little shout out to their gym.
Did you even notice the shout out you got on my story the other day?
If we're talking social media, I didn't.
All right, can you
Well, I
unmute?
appreciate it.
Can you unmute there?
You got it.
Just want to hear them. Let's just hear them talking. Just walk over. Don't say anything. Let's just hear the chatter, the post race chatter.
Congratulations to her. She is in the money.
What's up, man?
What up? Killing it.
I would have ran better, but I dead-legged on the truck of the shed, and my hair got messed up on the lumberjack lane. Thankfully. Anytime. Yeah.
Yeah, that looks bad.
It hurt.
Yeah?
Bad.
Yeah? It looks
It's-
like huge. You can see the swelling.
It's swollen, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, I lost speed immediately after.
Thanks. You have my case too. That's about it.
And I was like,
Anytime.
you have to fight so hard. And I was trying.
All right. Can you ask Jareen? Sorry. Can you ask?
That practice helped for sure. Good. I was practicing like 7 months. Good. I was like, I should feel good.
So we've got Aaliyah. I'm sorry. We've got Michelle in the yellow there, right?
That's correct.
She finished in second, correct?
Yes, sir. You got it.
She's not showing up on the leaderboard for some reason. But that's fine. Ask her how she's feeling.
How are we feeling?
Tired but happy.
Tired but happy. You killed it. You came off hot. Good job. No problem.
So Chrissy in 4th looks like.
4th.
First, second,
So here we go. For the women, we've got Jareen first, Michelle second, Aaliyah third. There's about 12-second difference there on those two. And then Chrissy in 4th.
Chrissy's had a busy schedule of racing this year, hasn't she?
Yeah, I feel like she's done almost all the Savages. She tried her first Spartan the other day, right?
And did well, right?
At the same time, and it was like so cool. I didn't want to get out of
They said they're saying the water felt good, apparently.
Is it a warm day out there today?
Are we on live?
Starting to
Yeah,
warm up.
tell.
Hey people! Thanks for
Hang-
watching! Happy David! We don't even know if he's like listening to us right now. No, he probably isn't. Like the bottom corner. Yeah,
You can tell him. You can tell him that I'm right here. Bracken and I are right here.
They know. They know. They asked before you unmuted me.
All right, Bracken. Well, we want to wrap it up here today.
Let's wrap it.
Oh, there's Bubbles. Is that Bubbles? No, that's not Bubbles. Who is that? All right, Bracken. Well, what are your thoughts here? Final thoughts here on Savage Maryland,
Maryland.
not
Well,
Virginia.
we saw something I've never seen before in the sport.
Which is the opening log carry.
Starting the race with a carry in your hands. And it fractured the field from the start, and it stayed that way the entire way through.
Well, I think Savage may do it again. What do you think it would take to convince Spartan to start like something like that?
I don't know. That's a great question, Matt.
Would you put it on the scale of possible, never?
It would have to be scalable. They would have to have a way that every wave, since they send so many more waves out, that it would have to be sitting there at the end. But I just love the fact that Savage did it. I like that some races talk about innovating and some innovate. And Savage continually innovates. And this is another example of it.
Well, you mentioned Battle Frog. You said, is it fair to say that this is Battle Frog? And I feel like that's a negative connotation. Like the waits were too long, that you had hour-long gaps in the women and that kind of thing. So
I said the 21st century Battle Frog.
But I'm saying, so that's how I feel. But do you think the community just associates it that way, or how do you feel?
Well, I suppose you had people on both sides of the coin. Some people said, wow, this race is like Battle Frog. And they're like, oh, that's negative. And other people would be like, oh, really? I'd love to go try that. And I think Savage is the current leader in the industry for people who want to be challenged in ways they necessarily maybe haven't been challenged before, where I may or may not complete this. I have the option to move through if I want, just like Battle Frog did. But if I want to go completion based, like I have to be prepared. And the challenge excites me. I think Savage has that market cornered right now, outside of some of those small little regional races who are famous for their grip-based obstacles.
Mandy says we need to give Brizzolo more credit. He's that good.
I think we talked him up all day.
I think we did too.
I was waxing over his stride. I was talking about the way that he looked last time. I assume Mandy's his friend or his relative, but we talked your boy up a lot.
Well, you know that sportscaster bias, like, oh, Joe Buck hates the Yankees. Oh, Joe Buck hates the Braves. Like whoever, like they always assume it's the other team that they're rooting against or for. So,
if you tune in to watch your friend or relative, you always want everyone to like them as much as you do and talk about them as much as you would. But in terms of his performance, I think we gave him his due. He passed the runner test to some extent today, and I'm now excited to see him at the next level of competition, which I assume he's going to show up to in 2 weeks.
In Vermont.
Yeah, in Stratton. I don't know why he wouldn't.
Yeah, I think we'll see a lot of the folks we've seen on the Savage circuit this year try their hand at OCRWC, including Sean. I think Sean says he might make it up there. Roberts.
Good. And it's one of those things where, like, and this isn't talking about him at this point, but just in general, when we do a live stream, someone will say, how do you not know about this person? They're an animal. They're so good. They win everything. But the reality is, like, everyone knows someone who's that person. And it's until they get on the national stage that we know exactly how good they are. And now Brizolara has beaten a few people who have been on the national stage, but he's got to get up to that table. Like, we haven't seen him at the table yet. And so he shows signs of being that next person, but until you beat the best, you won't be talked about as the best. And he gets a chance to do that in 2 weeks.
I think that's a perfect place to wrap up. What do you got going on the rest of the weekend, dude?
Got some runs.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What kind of runs?
Matt, today I am doing max gain. 60-minute treadmill test for max vert that you can get. So 1 hour to gain as many feet as possible. And tomorrow, easy long run.
Right. Well,
what about you?
I'll quickly say this, and I'll wrap it up. I'll wrap it up. A podcast you did inspired me to get my current running coach. Could you guess who that is? My new running coach.
Is this someone we interviewed?
Yes.
How long ago did we interview this person?
Last couple months.
Who would we have interviewed that inspired you to go with them? I don't know.
I can't believe you don't have a guess.
I mean, I have a lot of guesses, but it's almost a disservice to the other people if I don't guess them.
Oh, you're trying to be nice now?
Well, we haven't interviewed a bad coach yet. Maybe one.
He may or may not run for that pretty blue color that's right above you there. That to your right shoulder, left shoulder. What's that blue shoe?
This one?
Yeah.
It's the Hoka Evo Jaws, man.
Yeah. I know which shoe it is.
Oh.
So he may run
for powder blue. I don't even know what that means.
He may run for that brand.
Oh. Who runs for Hoka? Are you talking Chris Brown?
I'm talking Chris Brown.
Well, look at that. Well, I guess I didn't guess him because he doesn't advertise his coaching very much.
Yeah, so
But if you're looking for ultras, not a bad place to start.
I heard him on your show. I was like, I really like this guy. I wonder if he's up for coaching. He goes through that Chasky endurance.
Mm.
He doesn't advertise it a lot, but he's and he's my new ultra coach. So
how's it working out for you?
We've been talking a lot. We start Monday. We'll talk more offline about it, but I just thought give you a shout out because listening to that show got me to do that.
Okay, well, I got to know. My last question then is does he have you doing anything big in the first week
I don't
as a
know.
fitness marker?
It's literally coming Monday. He's doing his typing, and I will see it. I assume I see it tomorrow for Monday's run.
Well, I'm excited for you.
All right, buddy. Well, listen, great job, everybody at Today's Savage. Bracken and I will see you at OCRWC in a couple weeks. So we are not doing Savage Georgia, but we will be doing the next race, which is Savage Dallas, October 9th.
It's a pleasure being here. We'll see you in a few weeks.